Okay, today we're going to talk about one of my favorite things, slope-intercept form. So make sure you put that at the top of your page and put today's date in the top right corner. And just to see if people are actually listening to this and not just writing it down, I want you to make a smiley face right next to the title, right at the end. Put a smiley face right after the word form, just to see if people are paying attention. All right. So what is slope-intercept form? Slope-intercept form is exactly this. I want you to write this down exactly. Write down y equals mx plus b. mx plus b. Now, besides y and x, m and b are kind of like arbitrary numbers, but you still have to know them. You're going to remember this one kind of like how you can remember a squared plus b squared equals c squared for Pythagorean theorem, something like that. This is really important. Y equals mx plus b. Now, what exactly is y equals mx plus b? Okay, so m is always your slope. And the way this is represented is usually it is always with a number, usually a fraction. So it's going to look something like this. Y equals, let's say, 2/3 x plus 7. And what that means is 2/3 would be your rise over run, and 7 would be your y-intercept. And that means where does it touch the y-axis? So it's really important that we can put equations into this form. Y is always over here on the left, x is always first times something, plus something. Y equals mx plus b. Cannot stress that enough, and you're going to have to remember that. All right, so how does this look? We want to write each equation in slope-intercept form and then find the slope and y-intercept. So always, always, always write down y equals mx plus b. And we just need to fit this into this. So I'm going to write underneath it. We already have y equals, so that's good. And we have x. And there's nothing over here for b. When there's nothing over here for b, we still need something there. We can't just make up a number. There is actually something there. It's just 0. So we're going to do plus 0. And look at this x. When there's nothing in front of that x, it's actually a 1, right? So we need to find the slope and the y-intercept. So our slope is 1, right? Because that's what's in front of the x. Whatever's attached to the x, whatever that m is, that's your slope. And then our y-intercept is whatever we add. So our y-intercept here would be 0. And then we're going to graph these in a different lesson. Okay, this next one's kind of weird. Number 2. Because it says 8x equals 5y, but we need y on the left. Well, the reflexive property says that if we have different these things on different sides of the equal sign, it's the same as just flipping them. You could just say 5y also equals 8x. Okay? 5y equals 8x. Does that make sense? Okay. So your goal here is always to solve for y. Always solve for y. Not for x, but for y. So we're going to solve here for y. So that means divide by 5. Divide by 5. Okay, now this looks kind of weird, right? That cancels. We're left with y. And we're left with 8/5 x. Remember, slope has to be something over something. Unless it's a whole number, because it's always over 1. So 8/5 x. Now, there's no plus b, right? Because we want that to be in y equals mx plus b form, but there's no b. So when there's no b, it's always just 0. So it's going to be y equals 8/5 x plus 0. So we have y equals, which we want. We have a slope, 8/5 x plus 0. So our slope is 8/5, because that's what's attached to the x. And our y-intercept, again, is 0, because there's nothing there. Okay. Number 3. So we have 3x plus 7y equals 9. Again, we need to isolate y. We need to solve for y, because we need to keep that in y equals mx plus b form. So, but it's right now it's 3x plus 7y equals 9. So we need to get this 3x. First thing we have to do is get this 3x away from the 7y. And we need to do that by putting it on the other side of the equation. Now, how do we put a positive 3x on the other side of the equation? Well, we subtract 3x. Now, here's where it's kind of difficult. Well, that just cancels, right? 3x minus 3x is 0. We're still left over here with a 7y and an equals. But this is strange. We have 9 and a minus 3x. Well, you can't take a 3x away from a 9 because x's can only go with x's and constants with constants. So right now, let's put 9 minus 3x. But wait, we need this y to be alone, right? So we're not done yet. Let's get this y alone. And we do that by dividing by 7. And when you divide by 7 on this, you need to divide everything by 7. Everything. Not just the 9, not just 3, everything. So it's going to be y equals 9/7 minus 3/7 x. We're not quite in y equals mx plus b form, right? We need to get into this form up here. And these are switched, right? We need to switch them back. And it's not as simple as you think because this is a positive 9/7, right? And this is a minus 3/7 x. So it's actually negative 3/7 x because that minus applies to that 3/7. So it's negative 3/7 x plus 9/7. You could just keep that 9/7. If you want to change it into 1 2/7, that's fine. So we need to identify our slope and our y-intercept. Our slope is negative 3/7. Our y-intercept is 9/7. Or you could say 1 2/7. Okay. Try numbers 4 through 6 on your own. Okay, welcome back. So we want to get these into y equals mx plus b form. So this right now, I have my y over here on the left side, which is good, but I need to get my x over here. And to do that, since it's positive, I need to subtract 2x. So that cancels. I'm just left with y. But over here, remember, I need my x first and then my b. Since it's a minus 2x, it's going to be a negative 2x. And then that's a positive 3, so it's going to be plus 3. And we're already in y equals mx plus b form then. So I know that my slope is whatever's attached to the x, right? So my slope is negative 2. My b, my y-intercept is my b, and that is going to be positive 3 because it's a plus 3. All right, down here. I have 5y equals 3x. I want to get that again into y equals mx plus b form. So I need to get rid of that 5 because I can only have a y here. So let's divide by 5, divide by 5. That cancels. I have y equals, now we just keep it 3/5 x. And there's nothing added on. Like up here we had a plus 3. There's nothing here. So it's actually just a 0, right? So my slope is 3/5. And my y-intercept is 0. And down here, this one's kind of tough. I need to get into, again, y equals mx plus b form. So I can't have this 4x over here, right? I have to put it over here. So I'm going to subtract 4x on both sides. And that cancels. So I just have 3y equals. And remember, the x has to go first, right? And since we did minus 4x, it's going to be negative 4x, and that's a positive 9, so plus 9. From here, we still don't have that y alone, right? We still have to do that. So divide by 3, and we have to divide everything by 3. So that cancels. We have y equals negative 4/3 x plus 9 divided by 3 is 3, right? So my slope is negative 4/3, my y-intercept is positive 3. So big thing, guys, y equals mx plus b. That's what you have to have. You have to have the y alone, and you have to have something times the x. Or if there's nothing in front of the x, it's a 1, right? So really important. All right, great job.